So first, with the Rotary Forum, for those of you that don't know, including our friend from the States, this is an opportunity to get together people to talk about important issues of our day, of the day in our community. And we've had 3 of them so far. The objective has been to make a contribution to our community on the basis of an important local issue. And we've had 4 or 5 metrics. Speaker quality, participation attendance, attendee evaluations, press coverage, and financial performance. So just to give you a sense about what we're talking about really, the first session was the seismic lessons from Canterbury for the Wellington region. It was quite a big event. The second one was on does amalgamation, what are the consequences of amalgamation for Wellington? And the particular question that we posed was, what kind of Wellington do we want? And most recently, we talked about the constitutional reform matters and how that might play in our community and nation. With regard to speaker quality, as you may know, we had Alan Bullard the keynote for the first, Sir Jeffrey Palmer for the second, Bill English for the third. The keynotes were, the second keynote was really Roger Sutton, the first. Phil O'Reilly was on the third, and we had a panel with Celia, Nick Leggett, Wayne Guppy, and Frank Wild for the second one. And some of the names that come across with regard to the different events include Peter Townsend, Richard Ballantyne, Helen Anderson, Sam Knowles, David Cagle, Peter Hughes, David Rutherford, Matthew Palmer, John McKinnon. I think we can say that's the state of play with regard to speaker quality. With regard to the participation and evaluations on this screen, you can see this fantastic chart. We had 184 people come to the first, 141 to the second, 182 to the third. Generally fewer than 20 of them were members of this club. And the median satisfaction was 8 the first year, 8 the second year, and a mind-boggling 9 the third year. So that worked out pretty well. With regard to press coverage, you probably know we had a 2-page full weekend session on the Insight section. And the Dominion for the second one, we've had really good coverage all the way through, including a radio interview, which is on the screen, with me and with me on News Talk ZB and some others. So financially, again, walking through our metrics here, we can say that we had a $22,000 gain the first year. We actually lost $7,500 the second, and last year, to our surprise, we were short 4. So while we've always envisioned the forum as a community benefit activity, in fact, and not a fundraiser, and it's been a net positive for the club, we can say that we haven't actually hit those particular objectives. So if I were to go back to our objectives, are we making a contribution to our community on an important local issue? And I'd have to say this question is open. We're continuing this dialogue around are we actually hitting our objective with regard to encouraging community dialogue on important issues. With regard to speaker quality, 2 big ticks, big tick. With regard to participation and attendance, I would give us a tick, except that we weren't quite as pleased this year as we had been in the past. The evaluations of 8 and 9 are extraordinary performance on a scale of 1 to 10. And the press coverage has also been really fantastic. And I have to say the financial performance question has been kind of mixed. So that's pretty good on balance. I think a fair assessment of where we are with regard to the forum. What we decided as a forum group is to say, listen, let's give it 5 years and see how it goes, and then we'll give it a go. Then we'll see how we're at on all of these different dimensions. Now the reason this is relevant is because the district conference is coming up for 2014 and 2015. Now, by the way, I'm not stepping on the initiative up in Foxton. Thank you. Please go if you're planning to, and that's an important event for the district, of course. With Anthony as their district governor next year, it falls to this club to organize the district conference, however, and that will be in December next year.
This year.
December.
20.
Yes, quite right. December next Rotary year, December this calendar year. Thank you. So the plan is actually, and if you know Anthony, Anthony has a plan. He would quite like to combine the district conference with another enterprise, which is the Rotary Institute, a collection of past district governors from across Australia, New Zealand, and the South Pacific. And that event will be happening at the same time. And he'd quite like, actually, for us to have some kind of community connection with the district conference and the forum, so that we have some way of actually having some impact in our community, some discussion about Rotary, and we're leveraging off the events. And of course, it wouldn't be Anthony if he didn't want to raise some funds while he was at it.
And there's an election going to happen at the same time.
Yes, there'll be election all to boot. So what's going to happen? We've already described it to some degree. Pastors and governors are going to be getting together for a 2-day conference on the Rotary mission. That one is actually quite a high-level event. Helen Clark, for example, is the invited guest at the moment. We are not sure if she can fit it into her.
Stephen gasped for breath. Oh, he's got his socialist title.
She gets elected prime minister 3 times and gets a cough. Okay, fair enough. And she's the head of the UN World Development Program, and she gets a cough. Yes, of course. And we're expecting 400 attendees. The district conference is the one that Anthony hosts, which will be happening at the same time. That will have 200 attendees. And we'll be combining with the Rotary Institute for most events. So we're looking at the better part of 600 people coming to town to be hosted by this club. And in order to bring the outreach, the plan is, at least preliminarily, to have the forum on day 1 on some topic related to NGO governance. So that's a very ambitious plan. There'll be more coming later. I wanted to let you know that the Forum Committee is getting together to organize the event. We'll be having some discussions with others, with Mark, regarding fundraising, and there is lots of logistics to come. Thanks in advance for your support.